Hey everyone, it's Kyle. Azora Hype. The Crypts of Winterfell have been featured in Game of Thrones ever since the pilot. In episode 2 of season 8, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, we had one of the biggest moments take place in the entire series, with Jon Snow revealing his true parentage in front of his mother Lyanna Stark's statue to Daenerys Targaryen. But I believe there will be another even bigger event in the Crypts in episode 3. As we know, Game of Thrones is based on the A Song of Ice and Fire book series, and we have already had our fire reveal in the Crypts with Jon's parentage, so we still need the ice part of the equation to happen. In the first book of the A Song of Ice and Fire series, Game of Thrones, Ned is there with Robb Baratheon as he moves past the dead, and he says, by ancient custom, an iron longsword had been laid across the lap of each who had been Lord of Winterfell, to keep the vengeful spirits in their crypts. The oldest had long ago rusted away to nothing, leaving only a few red stains where the metal had rested on stone. Ned had wondered if that meant those ghosts were free to roam the castle now. He hoped not. But we know Bran, Rickon, Osha, Hodor, and the direwolves leave through the Crypts of Winterfell when Winterfell is being sacked, and they take some of those swords. Also in the books, Jon has recurring dreams about the Crypts of Winterfell, which is connected to his lineage, but could also be foreshadowing to something much darker. When he turned, he saw the vaults were opening, one after another, as the dead kings came stumbling from their cold black graves. Jon had woken in pitch dark with his heart hammering. Varys' face in the episode 3 trailer was not his usual calm demeanor. He looks terrified. What is he seeing? I believe that the Night King will not only raise the dead in the Crypts of Winterfell, but we may also see him Trojan horse through a secret passage and enter through the Crypts of Winterfell. Wouldn't it be insane not only if he arrived through the crypts, but we also got the reveal that the Night King knows his way through these crypts? How would he know? Because in episode 3 of season 8, it will be revealed that he's a Stark, and possibly the same Night's King of Lore, the 13th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, which I believe was symbolically revealed in this shot with the first time we ever see the Night King. The foreshadowing is overwhelming and has been leading us up to this moment for such a long time. In the Crypts of Winterfell teaser for Season 8, we see Sansa, Arya, and Jon in the Crypts of Winterfell facing their statues while the cold mist encroaches. Bran is missing, which is curious, but we know that the Night King and the White Walkers bring the cold. We also have the Aftermath teaser trailer where we see a physical item from some of our favorite characters, either destroyed or laying in the ground in the cold. We see Lyanna Stark's feather in this teaser trailer as well, but what is it doing out in the open in the courtyard of Winterfell? Which brings us to episode 2 of season 8, where the crypts were mentioned several times. Not only were they mentioned several times, but they were mentioned as being the safest place to be during the battle while the realms of men fight the army of the dead. We hear Gendry say it's going to be safer in the crypts to Arya. We hear Gilly say the crypts, that's the safest place to be to the mini Shireen. We also hear Jon say the crypt where it's the safest to Bran. We hear Daenerys say, you'll be in the crypt to Tyrion because she needs him to make it through the battle alive. We hear Sam say, they'll be safe down in the crypt to Jon about little Sam and Gilly. We hear Jorah say, you'll be safe in the crypt to Lyanna Mormont. So, this is only in episode 2 alone. Are the showrunners trying to tell us that the crypts aren't safe? Why are the crypts considered to be so safe? Is it simply because it is underground and difficult to get through? Is it believed that those in there will be undetectable to the Night King and his forces? It's definitely interesting that we get some type of explanation about the Night King's motives, but no explanation at all of why everyone thinks the Crypts of Winterfell will be safe. Now, some people are saying, well, aren't the corpses just bones within the Crypts of Winterfell? We have to remember when Bran tried to get to the Three-Eyed Raven's cave, those whites were waiting for Bran all of that time. So isn't it plausible that we could get dead, reanimated Starks during episode 3 of season 8? The actor that plays the Night King, Vladimir Furdik, had a very rare interview with Entertainment Weekly before season 8. And he stated that the Night King had a target that he wanted to kill. Now in episode 2, this was revealed to be Bran Stark, as he stated that the Night King and the Three-Eyed Raven have this ancient feud that has lasted many generations. But one thing that was also interesting about this interview was that Vladimir Furdik says there's a moment between the Night King and Jon Snow that is similar to Hardhome, but even more impactful. I've been trying to think of what that might be, and the only real option that comes to mind is the terror of the Night King, raising the dead entombed Starks from the Crypts of Winterfell and the dead within this battle. And we also hear in the teaser trailer Dany say the dead are already here. Remember? Does she mean those in the Crypts of Winterfell? Could this be why we haven't seen the Night King in any of the trailers? Why don't we see him at the end of episode 2 with the White Walker army that is marching towards Winterfell? Is that because it will give away his location inside Winterfell, inside the crypts? I also think there's a strong possibility that the Night King could be using Viserion as a distraction to draw away Jon and Daenerys, who are clearly looking over at the army of the dead and their forces at Winterfell. And this could be why Jon is running in the trailer when it pops in his head that the Night King is an honest dragon. Perhaps this is a way of the Night King trying to block Bran from sensing his location, but I do like the idea of Bran saying he's here by detecting him within the Crypts of Winterfell. I believe this is why Arya is running in the trailer absolutely terrified, and if you checked out my video where I reveal who is behind Arya in this shot of the trailer, then I believe whoever is also inside Winterfell is in very big trouble. The showrunners are clearly trying to tell us something about the crypts, and it would be absolutely terrifying to see the Night King in the Crypts of Winterfell, where some of our favorite characters are taking shelter during the battle. This episode is going to be absolutely insane, everyone, and if this episode is truly to be a mix of a massive battle like the one we saw at Helm's Deep in Lord of the Rings, with elements of survival horror, then the Crypts of Winterfell are going to play a huge role in this episode. But what do you think? Will the Night King execute a Trojan horse move by entering through the Crypts of Winterfell through a secret passage? Will he raise the dead and create chaos within the walls of Winterfell as well? Let me know your thoughts, your theories, and tinfoil in the description of this video. Also, if you want to watch more Game of Thrones videos, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the upcoming, yeah, that's right, daily Game of Thrones videos all the way through Season 8. The link to my Patreon, social media, and more is in the description of this video. I'll see you all in the next video. Hype and love.